Griffo's at the wheel. Perth's interim coach seals the deal to become Glory's 15th permanent manager. Glory throw the kitchen sink, but come up short against the ladder leaders. And the Glory girls back on track following a 1-0 win over the Wellington Phoenix. Welcome to the Far Post Perth, powered by ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com. And also Trio Homes, if you're looking to build, redesign or renovate, triohomes.com.au. Blayne Treadgold is my name. Going around the table as always. Neil Sherwin's with us.
Hello.
We've got Jaxon Bassett's.
Hello.
And Donna Jaffray. How is everyone?
Good. How are you, Blayne?
Good, yeah, not too bad at all.
No one ever asks how Blayne is. So
I know. That's why I thought I'd ask him.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Another big week, locally, internationally, across Australia, and we'll start the way that we know how. Mr. Sherwin, kick us off with your good.
Unlike me, I'm going to give Melbourne victory some credit, specifically Juan Mata. I really enjoyed watching Juan Mata roll back the years with his performance at the weekend. Hit the crossbar and tried a shot from the halfway line. Just silky. And a reminder that he's here and he's bought into the league. And, he's not on the pitch every week and he's not playing 90 minutes. But when that class is still there. And I just actually really enjoyed watching Juan Mata play, which is nice.
Yep. No, fair enough. I think
simple man.
They're getting more out of him than probably Wanderers did, are they? Is that fair to say?
He did score here, and that was kind of cool as well. Proper fanboying over that. But, maybe. But they're using... I don't know if they're using him smart, considering their position on the ladder, or whether they should use him more. But he's still got plenty to offer in the role that he's playing. And as I said, that game was just... it was just really nice to watch him play and do all the little silky things that we thought he could do when he was originally signed at Wanderers. So, long may it continue. And hopefully when he is finished playing, he's enjoyed himself enough to stick around or invest in the league. And I know there's been talk about that. But, he's the kind of guy you like having associated with our league. So, I really enjoyed watching him.
No, good stuff. Jaxon, keep us rolling, mate. What's been good?
The good is that the deal is done and we've finally gotten it out the way. It took a while. I know all the formalities and stuff, and I know Pellegrini was like, we had to do all this. We wanted to keep our options open just in case for these high quality candidates who we don't know anything about. But in the end, they've gone with the man that we thought was going to get the job, and it was almost a certainty after the Wanderers win that it was going to be him. And I'm just glad that it's out the way. We can stop asking him about it. Hopefully he can still give us incredible answers to our questions in press conferences, but I think everyone around the Glory should be quite happy that, it's a done deal. It's all sorted. It's till the end of the season with an option to extend, which I think we'd all be happy with. I think that's the right move. And now we can just focus on continuing the form on the pitch and making that finals push.
Yep. No, I think that's fair enough. I think the only thing, and I've been thinking about this, and that was to your point last week, Neil, is that you just lock him in for this and one more.
Yeah, look, it's semantics at this stage. There's probably, hopefully, triggers in the deal that if he does well, it will just be an automatic extension. But yeah, for me, I would have just shown the faith and said it's this season plus you then next season, because quite often we're a little bit impatient with coaches as well, that we're expecting instant results and whatnot. And miracles not finishing last. So I would have gone for it, but that's just me being picky. It's what I would have liked to have seen. I wouldn't give him a 3-year contract or anything like that, but 18 months would have been fair. But he's got the end of the season, and hopefully the run of form continues and he signs an extension then before the season finishes, right? So that the players know what they're working with next season. Those that are maybe off contract or those that are on the fence about sticking around, they know that there's not going to be another regime change come the next off-season.
What's the trigger? Do you feel it's finals? I mean, if we make first week of the finals,
is it
as simple as that?
If you're going KPIs, well, not finishing last would be brilliant, but finals has to be an automatic trigger. If they qualify for finals in March or April, then that's when the next contract should be triggered for me. But it's a bit more nuanced for me in terms of performance, and I made the point that it felt like a good loss. at the weekend, and people were saying, "Oh, they still lost, and they still lost." See, but if you can't see the difference between that loss, where the players played for 95 minutes, and a couple of the losses earlier in the season. Now, again, that I've said before, that's on the players, right? That they need to hold some accountability for why they were not arsed at the start of the year, and now they are, same group of players. But also previous seasons where I've seen players quit on games and just looked like they were going through the motions and not bothered. We're not seeing that now, and that's where your nuance comes in around, yes, it's a loss, but they were busting their bollocks for 95 minutes and were out on their feet by the end of it. That to me is a where you can look at it and go, it's performance driven as well. Are we building something here? It kind of feels like they are.
Yeah. Donna, keep us rolling.
The victory win.
Oh,
I'm not sure what was in the water. I don't know what happened, but it was great to watch. And going on to what Neil said, watching Mata, obviously being a Man United supporter as well, just watching him out on that pitch. And I think the victory are getting a little bit more out of him because he's starting more games than what he did when, coming off the bench with the Wanderers constant, I think that's the difference. And every week he's staying on that little bit longer and he's just showing that flair. And it was going what Neil said, 100%, just watching him play. You could have any supporter from any team would just watch him play, and the way he did was brilliant. So I'm very happy with that.
So victory went from bottom
to bottom.
Right, just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
To bottom.
Well, I feel it could be a
but that's okay.
I feel it could almost be a little bit of a factor of one step forwards, two steps back, because they got the derby this week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they cop a slacking from City, who will come in relatively rested, I feel. When's their Champions League? Is it they missed out on the weekend?
So not.
Is there a Champions League game tonight?
For Melbourne
being Tuesday
City?
For Melbourne City or something like that.
Was it
that's
tomorrow?
the reason. Well, that's the reason they didn't play on the weekend, wasn't it?
Is it tomorrow?
Somebody
Jaxon?
should have done the
Jaxon.
research.
Friendly
I know.
Googling.
I don't do research.
Research this. But yes, it's going to be a tough game, and winning one game it literally means nothing at this stage. But it was good to get a win against Adelaide. It just set that tone and gave something for the supporters to be excited about. And the players, you saw them, they ran to the bench for the first time in a very long time and grabbed the coaches.
We're
and
back.
Everyone.
We're back.
Thank God. We've got something to be happy about. It was a Christmas miracle.
Yes.
And I'm going to just keep it on that.
My good from across the weekend, and this is to your point, Neil, about being able to see the players making the efforts, doing the hard yards, the 1%ers, Nico Pennington, revving up the crowd and everything like that. And that was the appreciation shown to the players.
I actually enjoyed Pennington when he went over and had a go at
Wallity.
That was, I was like, it's like, give me a bit of that.
Yeah. And that's what you love seeing that as a fan.
Definitely.
But what I really enjoyed was the fans, and particularly the home end, giving that appreciation even after a 1-0 loss, because they could see that everything had been left out there. I've always said Perth fans can take a loss. What they won't put up with is a lack of effort and incompetence. You can take a loss all day long. I think every football fan can take that. That's football.
Especially when the bar is so low, right?
Well, I mean, it was just a good dig-in performance. They were up against the top team. Yeah, they fell short, but they absolutely threw the kitchen sink. Any other day, they probably would have won that. So I just thought that was good. And I thought that it showed a fair bit of maturity from the fans, who could have just probably been a bit shirted off and disappointed and everything like that. And I think it was just a good display.
I'm a huge fan of Pennington.
Yeah, he's a
And
beast.
I didn't know till a couple of weeks ago. The bloke has a full Italian
He's
accent.
Italian.
I know he's Italian,
Yeah,
but he's like, I didn't realize, when you look at
He
him,
came out as a kid to
you don't
NZ.
expect that. And then he's like talking to me and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of him. I really like him. And he's got all the time, like bumped into him at Karrinyup and he recognised my little boy still. And he still said hi and went out of his way. He's with his kids and his
Stalking
family.
players again, Donna?
Yeah, man. Just
Leave him
outside
alone.
the house to sign them. But he's just a genuinely nice guy, and that's what people love, and that's what fans get drawn to.
Absolutely.
as well. That's what you need.
Yep. No, 100%. Bad, Neil?
Injuries.
Yep.
Potential to derail the run, because I think as much as Glory have been really good in the last few weeks, I think their depth was showing up in that second half when you were looking at options off the bench. When Taggart was injured and there was a few players carrying knocks. I mean, at one stage it looked like Bozanovsky was going to have to come off with a groin. there's not many that you'd say you could bring on that are going to score you a goal at 1-0 down. That's my fear, is that outside of that starting 11 with Lawrence and Taggart, and we may have to see a few of them, the subs this week, because you've got Wales still sidelined. I think if you're missing a couple, the drop off based on what we've seen is very, very high.
Yeah.
So and I don't have doubts about the back line, because I think there's actually good depth at the back line, whether that's Risden and Osler at right back, Sutton and Shamoon at left back. You've got Kaltak, Wooten, Labib, Majeka Dumney. Like, you've got 8 defenders
Fox.
there who could Fox. Well, he's a striker now after the injury time, chucking him up front. They did that too late. Get him up there at 80 minutes. If you're going to do it, give him 15 minutes to get his head on something. But I think that depth is good, but further forward, it's if Taggart isn't going to score us a goal, and Lawrence isn't going to pull something out of his arse, what's next in terms of that goal threat? And I think that's where, if they go 1-0 down, are they going to score 2? Yeah, that's my fear at the moment.
They're not. I think that everyone can say that they're not scoring enough at the moment.
No, but I think the injuries will make that even more obvious, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, big test against Adelaide to see what comes of that. Jaxon, keep us rolling, mate.
Yeah, I had the same thing as Neil. Griffiths couldn't do a lot, but he can only do so much when players aren't on the park. Taggart with the groin, Kucharski and Wales, hamstrings, Despotovsky, calf, Amos and Cook, knee, Berigidi, you can also include on there.
Anasmo, Achilles.
Lissalashki, Sutton and Pennington, or Sutton's just come back from an injury, and Pennington played his first 90 this week, so it's taken him a while to get up to speed. So, I mean, moving forward, do you play Lawrence up front and Pennington as a 10? Is that what we're looking at? Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know at this point. Just try and get the big names fit again.
Yeah,
because this is not just.
Well, I mean, Despotovsky's out until the new year.
Yeah.
Wales is out until the new year. He's still going through scans again.
I don't think Taggart we won't see.
Taggart we won't see until the new year. Kucharski, I don't know, but I don't feel that he's going to be ready. So, I mean, it is really...
My only thing with Kucharski is that he didn't want to come off. He was shaking his head and wanted to stay on. So I'm hoping that they were taking him off just so he didn't make it worse.
A precaution.
And potentially knowing that Taggart was fucked and that Despotovsky wasn't going to be around in Wales and all of those issues, that they thought, let's make a business decision here and see if we can get him right for this coming week. But it's definitely a massive concern if you've got a front 4 and you chuck in an Asmo as well if you want to make it 5. Yeah, you are very lean with some of those players. And the problem is then you're bringing in players who haven't been cited for weeks and expecting them to perform. Like Suleimani didn't really do anything in the game, but is that really his fault when he hasn't been in a squad for ages?
It's not. I thought he was busy without having much of an output.
I felt that they were pumping balls, trying to get balls into the box with a team of short people in there.
Yeah.
That's what if you're going to bring Fox on.
Yeah, but I mean, they did park the bus, put 5 at the back. And,
sure, so stick Wooten in there, stick somebody in there. Especially, my biggest gripe with Tom Lawrence dropping deep is if he's going to drop deep, somebody needs to be in the mixer.
Go up,
you know, because he was quarterbacking from the halfway line with Nkwa and a couple of other smaller Suleimani, dropping balls in. As you say, they had a deep 5. Grant was just gobbling those balls up. So... Yeah, you got to be a little.
I thought Tisserand was good for them.
The two of them were brilliant.
Yeah.
The two of them were unreal at centre back. They did everything that you could expect to grind out a win, especially when Sydney offered very little moving forward as well in the second half.
The last point I'll make on the injury front is that it goes beyond bad luck and unfortunate circumstance for me at this point. We had injuries at the start of the season. We had injuries that last season as well. Whether it's training intensity or recovery not being good enough or rushing people back, whatever it is, something isn't quite right in the physio and medical department at the moment, and that needs to have a serious look at.
Well, there was a lot of comments when Dave was still in Driller about the training pitch and the facility and all of that. They're training there now, so that doesn't seem to be an issue, but it's an ongoing thing with Glory. We have this conversation every single year. Why are the players getting injured? What is happening? Who's in charge of the strength and conditioning? Is it the same people? Why have we moved them on? Or is it that the players aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Well, they did change it this offseason and brought in a head of
there you go. So
what's
what's not clicking? Are the players not following what the structure they're supposed to be following? Do they have something that they're supposed to be doing in the off-season that they're not? There's so many factors. I know at Sterling NPL level, like they're on a strict what they need to do in the off season. They're not just singing about. So what needs to change if they've brought someone in new? Then is it something about the players? Is it the pitch condition? Is it really that dire? Like what is it that needs to change?
Keep us rolling there, Donna, while you're on a...
My bad one is stupid, but that poor Man United supporter that hasn't cut his hair since October 2024 because he's waiting for Man United to go on a 5-game streak.
The United Strand.
Yep, and he has not done it yet, the poor bloke. So since October 2024, his afro is getting bigger and bigger and he has not been able to cut it.
I hope it's a run of 1968 to 1993 all over again.
He's never
that was my bad, the poor bloke, because it'd be totally gross right now. So, yeah, something stupid, but yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's the unwashed, that is, of Manchester. My bad, and I hope someone's listening to from the Glory about this. And this goes back to the appreciation given after the game. And just I've been over this time and time again. When the crowd's doing their thing, let them do their thing. You don't need to blare music over the top of the crowd. You're not helping anyone.
Let them say, "You fat bastard."
Yeah.
Exactly. All they want.
No, I agree.
I just think you've got this brilliant organic atmosphere going on. Stop competing with it.
Goal music is a stain on the game. And it's not just an A-League thing, it's a global
everywhere.
thing.
Yeah.
It's crept in everywhere, and it is a stain on football. Yeah. And commentators who talk over goals as well is a little thing that irks me when I'm watching on TV. When a goal goes in and the commentator, Peter Drury, gives his big monologue, and I'm like, shut up and let me hear the crowd go wild and let me see the limbs.
Yeah.
So I'm very much in that. Just let the...
I'm probably guilty of that on the radio, but... It is radio.
Oh, someone's getting feedback indirectly.
There we go.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I was watching that and we were talking about that on the radio, and I was like, you could hear this music blaring. And as I said, there was a really good moment there with the crowd showing the appreciation for the players, and they probably wanted to hear that too, even though they felt sure they got plenty of positive feedback from the crowd and that kind of thing, but you've got this music blaring over the top, and it's just a bit unnecessary. It's a little bit like, hey, guys, read the room a bit. That's my old man yelling at a cloud for this evening.
Thank you.
Keep us going.
Ugly. I'll keep it one bit brief. Brisbane wore the fucking shorts again. I was twitching.
The turd kit.
I was 2 weeks in a row. Put them out the pasture, please. But my real ugly is the 1942 at the Central Coast Mariners game.
Jesus.
I know we're going to hear about this community club and small catchment area and punching above their weight and all these things that come with criticising the Mariners, but it's a game against Auckland, very good team. Friday evening, like, to me, that's a good time to have a semi-decent crowd. 4, 5, 6,000 be acceptable, but less than 2,000. These are Gold Coast numbers. And I know we don't want to harp on too much about crowds and whatnot, but there has been a 10% drop off in attendances this year for whatever reason. Streams are up and people watching on Paramount, which is fine. So maybe there's just too many armchair supporters out there now that will only go when it really, really suits them rather than being rusted on. But it is Gold Coast numbers, right? Clive Palmer era stuff. So very grim.
The only thing I'll
Mariners.
say on that is Gosford is a stadium that isn't conducive to any weather conditions. Fantastic when it's sunny, brilliant as soon as you get an inch of rain or wind.
We are so soft here.
I know, but on the
There's nothing to do in Gosford. Go watch a game.
But on the other side, of it, though, I mean, the European stadiums are built for those weather.
Yeah.
They are not.
A lot of them are.
Shelbourne's shed. All right. I have stood in all
enough
elements.
of your Farmers League, mate. All right?
We're talking about the big leagues.
The A-League is a farm.
We're talking about professional football here. Serious stuff.
I don't buy
Don't you dare talk about try to compare the A-League with that.
Look, I think 1900 is
sad.
indefensible.
No. And I see that because the main stand that does have cover probably holds 3-4 at least. So I'm with you, but what I'm just I'm trying to find reasons why.
Glass half full guy over here.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Look, it's just really grim because the Mariners have been a good news story over the past few years. I mean, and we mentioned in the previous couple of weeks about Wellington's crowds.
Yeah.
Guess who plays this weekend?
Yeah, I know. I've got that as my
Wellington and Central Coast
as well.
This week.
So
that could be,
keep that rolling. Jaxon.
Oh, when the Spurs lose 3-0. Yeah, Tottenham.
Get out of town.
Yeah, they're ugly this week.
You didn't want him.
2 wins in the last 8, 11th in the league, 22 points from 16. I think it's their worst start to the league in 15 or 16 years. Do you stick with Frank? I know a lot of the fan base are quite unhappy with...
They're always unhappy, though.
reckon,
They're Spurs.
I know that. I know they are. You can't please them. Even with the Europa League, wasn't enough for Ange, and I don't want to get into another debate about whether they should have kept it or not, but it just seems like they're going down a similar route here, where they're going to be, lower half of the table, and they'll just get rid of another manager quickly. And I like Thomas Frank. I think he was a very shrewd appointment. Great at Brentford for many years, and when he was announced, I thought this is a good pickup. I think he'll be able to get a lot out of the squad, but it does take time. I know it's something he's been preaching about, but if it doesn't go well this season, then I don't think the answer is just to get rid of him. But that might just be the situation. I know it's a cutthroat business, but
they're definitely underperforming massively. But it'd be too soon to cut the cord on Thomas Frank, because I think he did a great job prior to going to Spurs. But it's bad. It is very, very bad.
I mean, we say that, and it's not looking great. But the reality is, when you look at the table, they're only 4 points behind United, Liverpool. Like, they're not that far off the European.
But those two teams are shit as well.
Hey, listen.
I know. It's not,
Gets a win.
How far off are the Crystal Palace are they? That's what we really want to be looking at.
It's probably similar numbers as well.
I do think that it only takes a couple of games. But the issue at the moment is, are they capable of winning those couple of games to turn it around? I mean, they look all over the place. No Son, no Kane. They haven't adequately replaced, and look, it's very simplistic. Those guys are quite irreplaceable, but the drop-off is huge for them, and they're also quite weak. I'm still not convinced by Vicario, a few years down the track. And that those issues haven't been addressed. Can you put your faith in the likes of Richarlison and guys like this? They've got problems. I just don't trust them to be able to get the points on the board. They're not a team you'd fear playing. Unless you're City, because City always lose to them. But otherwise, I don't think they've got any fear about them.
Yeah, they're a weird one, because they can pull off that performances like against City, but against a lot of other teams, they're very hit and miss. Comfortable against Brentford. They beat Everton 3-0 away, and Everton have been tough to beat at home this season. So very, very hit and miss. And they definitely should be doing better. I think there is enough quality there, in my opinion. I think the defence, you look at Van der Ven and Romero, it's a pretty good centre-back partnership. They brought in Kudus, who's very good. Brennan Johnson's pretty consistent. Javi Simmons, I know the jury's still out on him about his quality as a Premier League player, but there's definitely enough there to make a European push and finish in the top half at the very least.
I'm glad you guys both got to sit there and rant about the Spurs while Blayne and I checked our messages.
No, that's all good. No, I was just trying to work out a few things. Keep us rolling.
My ugly is a 2-part one. And number one, it's the Victory Adelaide crowd. I thought that was terrible. I think it's probably one of the worst that they've had, and that's considered one of the original rivalries. So that was quite sad. And the other thing is that Victory winning has saved Dillis for another week.
Yeah.
I just don't have any faith in him. I know we won and it was a great game and whatever, but I just don't think he's the man for the job. And now that Western United have put out a little article saying they'll probably be back next year and whatnot, I think that John Aloisi dream is slowly fading away. But that's I guess it's not that ugly, but it's ugly enough to not want him in the job.
There you go. Arthur Dillis in, says Donna. I'm just going to recap crowd numbers. I mean, I think there's some little upswells, if anything, very, very minor in some, but majority have gone backwards. If it wasn't for Auckland, as they've said over this season and last, we'd be in really, really dire areas. Central Coast, particularly Wellington, I don't know what's going on there, but even Melbourne Victory, as the self-admitted giants of the A-League, they're not showing it at the moment. Quite interesting what's happening there. Guys, we might wrap things up. We'll have a little bit of a break. We'll come out the other side, chat a little bit about the Glory, and we will I guess, analyse a little bit more of round 8 of the A-League right back after this.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Welcome back to the Far Post Perth podcast. We chatted a little bit off the good, bad and the ugly, guys. It was a performance that I think fans can walk away and be proud of, but still a little bit disappointing that they fell short the Glory against Sydney FC on the weekend.
Again, a good loss, and I don't want to get into this mindset of like losing is okay.
The honourable loss.
And brave defeat and all this bollocks. But the performance was better. It wasn't technically amazing because they were pretty abject around the box.
Yep.
Like shots on target, non-existent and whatnot. But the application was good. And outside of the first 20 minutes, even by Ufuk Tale's admission, Sydney were off the boil. And I think that was down to Glory's tenacity, the pressure they put on them in very, very difficult conditions. And I know it's the same for both teams. But there's plenty of positives you can take from a 1-0 loss to what is a very good Sydney FC team. So no disgrace in losing the game at all. And I think they'll be better for it if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think 100%.
If you keep rolling with win and win and win and win after, at some point you're going to have to lose. And now they've an opportunity to bounce back at home. So it's not a bad time for a loss.
No, you're 100% right. I felt, you talked about the conditions there, and I felt that Sydney were just a bit cleverer, especially in that first half. They kept the ball really well. I remember obviously being on air for Sport FM alongside Tommy Dolman, and we're having a conversation around, hey, it's not the night that you want to be chasing shadows. It's just due to the conditions, and I felt Sydney kind of handled that after half-time when the Glory came back out. I thought by far and away they were the better side, Jaxon, in that second half.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And talking earlier about the shift in momentum, I think attitude comes before technique and tactics. And I think in years gone by, you go into halftime, Sydney have the momentum in the first half, more shots, better the play. Taggart goes off injured. I think at halftime in years gone by, it's a demoralising thing, and they come out the second half and they probably lose. They concede 2 or 3 and lose it comfortably. So I think for them to come out of the break and gain the ascendancy and dominate that second half, whether Sydney allowed them to do that a little bit and decide, we've got the lead, we can afford to take our foot off the gas a bit and just rely on our defensive ability, knowing that Taggart's not there, who's our best attacking option. But I think to see that response after the break and how that second half went, I think from an attitude perspective is much better. And overall, the performance, even compared to the draw in the first game of the season, you'd much rather see that against Sydney all day, every day, rather than seeing what we watched in round 1 against Wellington, where we basically were passengers and witnesses in a training drill for the best part of an hour. So, obviously there's a bit to work on. Again, the injury front's not great, and there's going to be a bit of work to do because we do need goals, and that's going to be the difficult thing when you don't have a lot of your attacking players there. But I think the ability to come out the other side and put up a good fight against a team that's going to be up there at the end of the season.
Well, help might be on the way in January with Steph Kolakowski.
Who goes though? I mean,
ready to jump on board.
Who's the?
Yeah, well, that's it. Who's primed for the mutual termination window?
Yeah,
because you want to keep Matt Sutton as well. So we'll have to see what happens there. And
obviously the elephant in the room is Cam Cook doing an MCL.
Yeah. We pressed Adam Griffiths for that info in the post-match press conference and asked him, can you give us that? Because we'd heard word about it beforehand, and he came out and said it's another knee injury suffered. So maybe that's conveniently timed for the injury replacement contract to be extended for Matt Sutton.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
For Cam.
Oh, massively. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want a player getting injured.
Not any player, but he's so young and he's.
But yeah, so just one other little nugget from the game. I shat myself when Pat Wood was throwing goal.
Your mate Pat Wood.
It's nothing against him.
Great save though.
Not against him. Yeah.
Great save by Sutton.
Yeah, it was a good save, but he'd all the time in the world to finish that. So I was relieved. But I think there's definitely question marks for Adam Griffiths now to look at in terms of selection and January. Now that he's the coach and he's got that faith in him, he's got a transfer window coming up. Whether he has any money to play with, I doubt it, but they can't keep carrying 30-odd players.
No, they have to. You literally have to start preparing for that hard cap now.
Yep.
You've got to shed, and there's a few. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is guys like Taras Gamulka. I mean, I can't see him having a future at the club.
He's mid-20s now, hasn't featured in a squad.
You got
and he was a mainstay last year. He was.
You've still got, as you mentioned, Lisha-Lasky. You've got Nathaniel Blair. You've got Bulgaria.
Suleimani only came in last week.
Does Majeka Dunmi and Labib go, hey, we're not getting the opportunities. We need to be playing football and put themselves in the shop window.
What's your squad list at?
30. 134.
Yeah. I think it's 32 or 33. Head to our website for more information.
Yeah.
No, it's in the 30s, and that needs to drop by at least like 6 or 7.
Yes.
Especially if you are talking about bringing in
at
Kolakowski.
least.
Yeah. But in January you can't shed that much in January because you're going to end up paying out everybody.
Yeah.
Plus, you'd also have to try find homes for some of them potentially as well. So you probably might only lose 2 or 3 in January, but its next off season will be right. And they did talk about running with a smaller squad this year, and they've ended up with a bigger one. So it actually has to be a smaller squad because there are youth players that could definitely fill up your bottom tier and be those 28. 29th players where you have 25, 26 or whatever it is as opposed to 32, 33. Even that would be a massive shift. So you've got to start looking at that now. As much as you want to remain competitive and win games, to your point about the cap changing, that's a big factor. But also the mood around the group, right? Are like all these guys that have come over from the East Coast and are just chilling on Scarborough Beach. What's that doing for their careers as well as a big thing? They've lost a year or two of their development by coming to Perth and doing nothing. There's no MPL, there's no youth league, there's nothing from these guys are not playing football in their early 20s. That's bad. As much as we might say Glory should never sign them, we're signing too many players from the East Coast, they're not good enough. Well, they won't get any better if they're not playing.
Correct.
So we need to, there's something needs to be solved there.
Anything more on Sydney and the Glory situation before we...
I think the crowd figure was okay, 6,500-ish thousand. If that can build slowly, I'm not expecting them to get 10,000 this weekend, but if that can build because of vibes, that's all we're really looking for. I'm not expecting to pack out HBF Park anytime soon. But if people start to see a team and a group that they can, to your point, Blayne, like those scenes at the end of the game where even at a loss, the fans are behind the players. We haven't really seen that.
No, I can't remember the last time I saw that.
So vibes are good. Vibes are good.
Vibe is the thing.
And a win against Adelaide this week would be massive step in the right direction again.
Yep. No, agreed. Let's have a little bit of a look what happened elsewhere. 2-1 victory for Auckland over the Mariners on Friday at night. A 0-0 between Western Sydney
Great
and
own goal
Brisbane.
in that game. Sorry,
I didn't see it.
It was on our page.
Oh.
Not look at our.
No.
He doesn't look at our socials.
All right, fair enough. Waste my time. The own goal was a great header.
Yeah, it was a,
I'll have to have a look.
powerful header.
I didn't see it. A Melbourne victory, of course, beat Adelaide 2-1. Perth went down 1-0 to Sydney FC, as mentioned, and Newcastle beat Wellington 3-1. It was a little bit of a vanilla weekend, Jaxon, I felt.
A little bit. I mean, the Jets kind of spiced up a little bit. They scored like 3 goals in 7 minutes after half-time. 2 wins in New Zealand for them.
Yeah.
Are they back?
Are they back? Box office Jets.
Has that saved Mark Milligan?
Well,
Bit of pressure on him?
A little bit, but they got Sydney this week, and
Oh,
they did
okay.
get smashed last time they played. So
Yeah.
Well, let's...
big test to see if they've learned anything
I'll ask
from
you that
last
question
time.
next time then.
And once again, I know that the draw is hard as it is, but, I mean, we've
Another derby.
got another derby.
Yeah.
I think a week after we've got another Kiwi derby or something stupid like that. I
Yep.
can't. It was. Yeah. I'm just. Yeah.
You're
But it's
over
hard.
it.
It's hard.
Positive. I mean, well, Glory are 5th. There's only 2 points between 5th and 12th.
Yeah.
So there is narrative there in terms of a win will leapfrog you over a few teams.
Yep.
In that race for finals, which is where Glory want to be. So that's why I think this week is a really big game for them at home to Adelaide. Adelaide have been shit. Is that fair?
3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
A bit of a slump.
Yes.
Slump.
Yeah. They haven't been outstanding.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row. I think they've been pretty crap the last
Yeah.
few games I've watched them. So they're ripe for the taking, but we obviously have...
Don't jinx yourself.
Well, who's going to be on the pitch for Glory is the
Yep.
big thing.
Yep. No. Fair enough. Any other observations from around the league?
No, but I think Sydney FC getting a win in Perth without Joe Lolly is a big feel-good factor for them in terms of stretching their legs and potentially going on and winning something this year.
59 fixtures against Sydney FC, and Glory have only ever won 10.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep. But I think Sydney Adelaide is the race. Brisbane will fade away, I think, because they're just not scoring enough goals. But to be fair, they've conceded 3 in 8 games. That's a phenomenal defensive record from
Who
Brisbane.
takes their spot though? I mean, is anyone?
City, I think, but City have a game in hand, and I think they would be pushing for the
Just
top.
a quick one on City, and we should have probably mentioned this in the good, bad, and the ugly. How good's the coefficient at the moment? It's brilliant between MacArthur
I have no idea.
and Melbourne City both making it through to the next stage. So, we're not too far away from chasing down maybe another half spot or a spot in Asia.
I know they've been doing well.
So, which is exactly what we need. I'd like to see it get to the point that we've got 4.
Well done, City. Arthur.
Well, as I said,
up a little bit.
it is a coefficient. It's good for the whole league. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be victory maybe not next year, but that get into Asia. So, I think it's good. Let's take a quick break and maybe a little bit of a shortened edition of the Far Post Perth, and we'll look ahead to this weekend. We'll be right back after this.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service, and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Final part of the Far Post Perth podcast for 2025. We are looking ahead to, what are we at? Round 9 of the A-League men's.
Correct.
But before we get into that, Jaxon, a win wasn't pretty, but a win nonetheless for the Glory girls against Wellington.
Bit like the opposite of the men's team. Men's team played all right and lost, and this one...
They shithoused it.
Yeah, Wellington had quite a few chances throughout the game.
Yep.
Had most of them, to be honest, and it was lucky that Susan Fonsonkum was able to score an Olympico. It was a nice little corner straight in, and they managed to hold on against a...
How was the support from the Nepalese fans for the Nepalese girl there?
Oh, it was great. Like watching the highlights, every time she was through on goal, had a shot. Like
Yeah,
it was deafening. It was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, but for the women, much needed. Switched from the back three, which they've been using for a lot of the season, to the back four. And I think it worked an absolute treat. I hope that's what they keep using going forward. I thought it was interesting that Stephen Peters, in his post-match presser, said it was more about the personnel rather than a tactical thing, which I was surprised by because I don't think it's worked that well so far this season. They've copped a lot of goals against, so I think that they needed a switch, and I think it worked out quite well. They stuck Misha Anderson in at centre-back, and she was great alongside Anya Zog. And I think it's much better to have three in the midfield, because when the team is at full strength, to have Dalton, Cassidy and Tovar in there, that's your three best midfielders. That's a very, very good base.
Yeah.
And then when you've got Badawia, Fonsonkum, Gabby Holler, True, I think any of those four could make up the front three. You got Fonsonkum as well. I think the 4-3-3 is a much better system for this team. So hopefully they keep using that going forward, and the performances can keep getting a little bit better, because they've got a lot of home games coming up and they need to keep winning if they want to claw back ground on the rest of the teams.
Sunday afternoon, it'll be Perth against Adelaide, I believe. So get out to the Samco Football Centre for that one. Looking ahead to the men's A-League round 9, I'll get some tips as we go around the table here. Friday night is Macarthur v Brisbane. Macarthur's doing well, as I said, doing well in Asia. Not so
much in the league.
Not so much in the league.
I think it's going to be a snore fest. I'll say a 0-0 draw.
Yep.
1-0 Brisbane.
Brisbane win.
You
love Macarthur. Go
no,
on.
well, only because I've had
Love
them
the
up and
Cowboys.
they've absolutely bloody made me look like a dickhead.
Put faith in it.
1-1. Throwing the toys out. Friday also we'll see the Wanderers and Auckland. This should be a tasty one, I think.
Yeah, Auckland are the far superior team, but I think a draw.
Auckland, not really convinced by the Wanderers.
Auckland win.
I'm going to pick the Wanderers at home. Only because the only reason is because they're at home and they need something. Stadge has been quite interesting lately, so I'll see what comes out with post-match. Might be worth the watch. Newcastle Sydney FC, Saturday first game.
Oh, Sydney comfortably.
Up there, yep.
Yeah, I think Sydney get it done again.
Sydney for me. Melbourne City, Melbourne victory. Neil.
2-2 draw.
I'm going to go victory. I can just sense them.
Donna, City by how many?
How could you tell? I'm going to go for a draw.
I'm going to go for City by at least 2 goals. Perth v Adelaide, interesting one.
Tough one.
Another brilliant Saturday night fixture, worth getting out to.
Tough one, because I was all in on a win last week and, got let down. But I'm still got a hint of optimism about me, and as I said, I think Adelaide have been shit the last 3 games, so I think Glory will win 2-1.
Yeah, I've got faith in the Glory. It's just who scores the goals.
Glory win.
I'm going to pick a draw. And that's only based on injuries.
It is the injuries, yeah, definitely. That's where I'm a bit hesitant.
I don't know where the goals are going to come from. So I'm thinking a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to be quite low. I don't think Adelaide's scored too many this season, either have they? So, but I mean, this is where Adam Griffiths he's signed on the dotted line, and this is where he earns his medal now. So, a big test not only for the team but for him as well. So really, really interesting times.
It's also some of those players, right, and we've talked about it already, about the size of the squad, that if you are dipping into your bag of tricks and pulling some players off their sofa. What are those players motivated to come in and put themselves in the shop window potentially for January? You know that their days at glory might be numbered, but they're getting a chance this week because players are injured. Can they be selfish and put in a performance that also benefits the team? I'd be interested to see if any of those fringe players are selected and get a start.
Yeah, I mean, despite falling short, I thought there was some. I thought they played pretty well in that second half. I really enjoyed the width that they brought when Quan Go came on. Shamoon went to the other side. Those combinations between Sutton and Kwa worked well.
I think that's going to be a big deal now that they can expand. Make the pitch seem wider with a natural left-footed fullback. I think
I enjoyed that.
Shamoon's been great, and I'd like to see him on the right with, as you said, Sutton on the left, because that width is huge, especially if you're playing inverted wingers, right? So if you've got an inverted fullback and an inverted winger on the left-hand side, it just makes the pitch narrower, and it's quite easy to defend against. Whereas if you have Kwa or whoever it is tucking in, Sutton showed in his first game back that he can get up and down, and he's played as a wing back and all of that. The one thing that kind of irked me at the weekend is the deliveries into the box were shit. There was at least 2 or 3 that went straight out for goal kicks.
Yeah.
Pennington had one, Sutton had one, and there was a couple that were just floated straight into the keeper's hands. So if they are going to play with width, like you say, and it is exciting, those balls into the box need to be far more dangerous for defences. And it's a little bit, again, as I said earlier, with they were playing against a bit of the land of the giants. If you're going to put those balls in, they can't be 10, 15 feet in the air. They need to be whipped in, pace, give players something to attack. And I think that's probably an area that if they are going to play with that width, Griffiths would probably want to work on that in training. But again, if you don't have the personnel in your preferred lineup, it becomes a little bit harder. So it will be very interesting, yeah.
Yep, looking forward to it. Guys, we'll wrap things up.
You didn't finish the tips.
Didn't I?
Yeah,
what did I say? Oh, sorry.
Wellington
Perth, Adelaide, Wellington Mariners in front of 5 people.
And five. Look, those 5 men in the dog won't know your tip.
They want to know my tip.
Yeah.
Wellington at home.
I thought Wellington would beat Newcastle last week, so I'm afraid to tip them again. I'm going to go for a draw.
Giancarlo and Italiano and Strife?
No.
No.
No one goes, but it ends up like 3-3.
I'm going to say a draw as well.
Okay.
I think the league is too close to the point
to get rid of anyone.
About Mark Milligan. It's too close. Like the Jets are in 7th on 9 points, and people are saying he's in the hot seat. Like, if they win a game or two,
they're back in the 6th.
They've cemented their spot in the 6th. But equally, if the teams below them win 2 or 3, and that's the fascinating thing about the A-League is there's a lot of average teams.
Yep.
There's probably 1 or 2 that are outstanding and they're at the top already. Sydney and Auckland, right? They're the benchmarks for this season. I think the rest are in a shit fight to see who can be slightly above average, because that would probably be all that you need to get into that 6th and take points off each other along the way.
Yep.
So Glory are firmly in the mix, and a win this weekend would leave them with 4-1-4 as their record. 4 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses. So it'll be pretty solid spot heading into
not too bad.
Christmas fixtures.
Much more positive getting into this Christmas than the last few. Guys, thank you very much, Donna, Jaxon and Neil. Big thanks to James Renton, who's, of course, helped us out throughout 2025 as well. Big thank you to our sponsors, ID Athletic and Trio Homes. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but there's still plenty going on the social media, and still plenty to get around. Make sure you check out the latest limited edition. What are we calling this one, guys? It's just the
Griffolution tea.
The Griffolution. Check it out. Check it out on the social medias. Nonetheless, they are going these limited edition T-shirts. Obviously, celebrating the appointment of Adam Griffiths. Available for purchase. $5 will go to the Perth Zoo conservation programs and the like down there. So we thought we'd make a little bit of good out of it as well, which is trying to do our part for over the festive season as well. Big thank you to everyone. A big thank you to you, the listener, for supporting us throughout 2025. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back around mid-January. But, thank you very much for listening. This has been the Far Post Perth podcast.